to
Travel.
relocate.
Okay.
Before I married my wife. My wife just told me, I cannot do long distance relationship. Guess what, guys? I had to start praying, Lord, they must deny my visa in the name
So that
of
you not be
Jesus.
confused.
And I'm Niyi.
And we are.
The money unit.
It's always good to do this because
Yeah.
we delight ourselves in, we enjoy being able to share.
Yeah.
You know, because we have these conversations normally.
Yeah.
Well, so we're just bringing it to you guys in a more outside way.
Just literally recording our conversations.
Exactly.
And we've been having these conversations for years. And
forever.
so it's good to just record this and share with people, isn't it?
So what are we talking about today?
Long distance relationship.
Yes or no? What's it for you?
Well, if it's more than 2 weeks, it don't be long.
Chai, my husband traveled the other time. He was supposed to go to Nigeria. From Nigeria, he had an engagement in London, but that was supposed to be like some days. He could come back, from Nigeria, then go to London. But he felt, okay, no, I'll stretch the stay in Nigeria. Then from there, I'll just go to London. So I already helped him book a hotel room,
Yeah.
I said, no, well, I said, with all these things you're going to help me bring from Nigeria, are you sure you will not come back here? Everything was you just thought, I'll be fine and all that.
Yeah.
My husband spent 2-3 days in Nigeria. He was writing love letter to me. He was missing me. God, you can't survive it.
But you are saying you're old. When I met you and I was about to do some diaspora
runs. Jackpot.
It wasn't jackpot.
Okay.
That was way before the word jackpot. 20.
I'm just trying to unveil or explain what it's about.
So I was to
travel.
Relocate.
Okay.
Before I married my wife. My wife just told me, I cannot do long distance relationship. Guess what, guys? I had to start praying, Lord, they must deny my visa in the name
so that
of
you not be
Jesus.
confused.
They
By the time it
must
comes
deny
out, you're
my
like,
visa.
hey, which one do I wish it came out and I would just see the one you would choose.
And it was interesting because it was something me and the team, my friends that were doing, trying to do a company together then, they had traveled, so I was the only one left in Nigeria. But I was praying, Lord, my visa must be denied in the name of Jesus. Ooh.
I didn't want long distance relationship. I felt.
So to the glory of God and to the shame of the devil, the visa was denied.
I was like.
So my wife, that's how my wife got me. Like,
I was like, if you do, like, forget it, because I will now be thinking you are there, I'm here. What are we doing? And I'll be so. It didn't make sense to me, but it works for some people.
Yeah, it does. It does work for people, and I think there are many things that impact on a long distance relationship. There are some that it is work related. For some, it is family, but especially. There are those that are dating and could work out long distance dating or courtship, knowing that maybe when we get married we come together.
Yeah.
It probably works for some people very well, but you must know yourself. For us, we realized that it ain't gonna work.
It's gonna work. Fully work.
Would there be circumstances that would make one to have a distant relationship, maybe marriage or in a serious engaged relationship? Yeah, for example, if you're working somewhere and you don't have another work and the company is saying we're moving you to maybe another state or another country and you don't have influence over it, there's very little you can do. I think it will always be within the couple's as in the partners, to decide, okay, how do we want to do this? Do we? It's all about planning, really.
Yeah.
It's all about planning.
There's visible greener pasture, and both of you are like, go for it.
Yeah, but even if
Eventually, it's
someone is
planning.
going to go, and it's still about planning
Yeah.
and knowing that um, um, we all have different thresholds, and so
Yeah.
you should plan based on your threshold.
Know thyself.
Yeah, and I'm not speaking to just marriage relationship, but I know it applies more to marriage relationship because again, we are fake people. If you're not married, there's nothing much you can do. You cannot one body with each other. So so
I think the idea of relationship generally is that you can relate. I know
yeah,
in this day and age, WhatsApp, video
yeah,
calls generally makes it easier to.
yeah.
It's not the same, but being able to even be on long calls internationally on all those platforms also makes it easier.
Yeah.
But generally, when it comes to relationships thrive on that fact that you can communicate often. You
Yeah, and see
can,
each other.
yeah,
I
see
mean,
each other sometimes, and
I mean,
even if it's sometimes,
so for example, in this era of remote work and all that, I work remotely from home. And the other day, I went to the office, and it was quite nice to just see everyone, people you've not seen for months. And so the connection is there. I mean, sometimes also you get to resolve things faster. There are some people, the issues they are facing is just because they are in a distance relationship. If they sit down together, even in a restaurant or have a meetup, the issue will be cleared in no time because they're seeing. So there are things that there are issues that can come up just because of long distance relationship, not because
even trust issues.
yeah.
Who is that girl that picked your call?
Why should a girl pick someone else's call before for a
Yeah,
guy's
no,
call?
I'm just saying it. What if those kind of situations usually come up in long
No,
distance?
I mean,
No,
I'll fight for the
actually,
lady.
yeah,
Why should a
of
guy? Who
course.
should a guy
But
pick your phone?
it can even lead to absence makes the mind grow fonder. But there's also
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of
yeah,
sight
yeah,
is
yeah.
out of
Out of
mind.
yeah.
They can some people that can't handle it, they can begin to drift
You know,
and get closer
you're
to
very
another
right.
person.
Even in interestingly, it applies to even in a corporate world. Some people, some managers and CEOs, they struggle with the fact that they're not seeing people, so they are feeling they're having trust issues with
Yeah,
their
yeah,
employees.
yeah.
So it applies as it relates to work. It's interesting that it applies to relationship. But yeah, distance. You sometimes have to work twice as hard to prove things in a distance
To make it work
to make it
generally.
work. Generally, there's power in seeing. Ojúlọ́rọ̀ or what? That's what they say in Yoruba.
Yeah, that's Yoruba. Yoruba has lots of strong, effective
Yeah,
adages
yeah, yeah.
in quotes.
Ojú. The
Adages.
I is the talk. The talk is not just words. Come on now.
Actually, so eventually it's important for people to see in relationship, but sometimes people can't help it.
Yeah.
People can't help it,
There are
but
things that would make.
yeah, that will take people apart,
Yeah.
whether they are dating or they're married. There are reasons why they will have to be apart for some time. Sometimes it's short, just a few weeks, a few months, but sometimes it could span years. Even look at the military people that always have to go away for
true.
a long time and eventually they reunite.
No, those ones are on another level.
The spouses, it's the truth is, even though it happens and they always have to, it's not always convenient.
Yeah.
It's not always easy, but it's their life, it's their path, and they live with it. So at the end of the day, it's important that as much as possible, even if people have to stay apart for a while, eventually they should try to make sure that it doesn't last for long.
Yeah.
In order to save, protect the relationship that they've invested in over time.
It cannot be endless.
Yeah,
It cannot be endless. So it should always be. How long is this going to be? Depending on how long it is, you might need to plan.
I can't do it now. I can do it. Maybe I should be able to do it.
But you couldn't do it then.
Honestly,
So what
I
has
don't
changed?
know. I think as at then, it would be trust issues. But I know you more now.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay.
So you trust me now? Didn't trust me then.
But I trusted you, but Well, how much did I know you? I know you for years now. You have earned
That one,
long-standing trust.
I only wish.
You have served for years.
Now
Yeah.
I've been proven.
But beyond that, it's the kind of, knowing yourself. We were conversational. We thrived on, talking, meet up to talk, go to eateries, have conversations, talk endlessly on the phone too. So it was probably the nature of our relationship. I didn't think it was going to survive. Well, it could, but I think because of the way that started, I didn't see how, and we went real fast. Yeah, we grew on each other real fast, real quick, and it was endless. So it felt like long distance for what now? So, but God orders our steps, and eventually we are where we are today. And if we have to do it, maybe for a while, it might have to happen. I don't know. Maybe in the future. And we'll be fine. I trust that we'll be fine.
But I think, like we said, just it's all about planning. If if one has to go for a day or for some weeks, it's understandable based on work.
Which happens often.
already based on work. But if it now has to do for months and months, then I think there should be a plan of, okay. If you have the means, maybe once a month there is, or a week. You just have to, exactly.
Something that works.
We've got friends. I don't want to mention it, but we've got friends that are like that right now, and so very close friends.
Studying somewhere
in another country, another country, and so they get to
shuffle
a lot, and it's working perfectly for them because it's planned, and then so it goes back to what we're saying again. You just have to plan it.
Yeah, so that it works.
So that it works for you. No, but I don't think anybody, if there is no other motive, I don't think anybody wants to be in a relationship that will stay as a long distance relationship. Exactly.
For a long time.
So it could be because of a reason. It could be because of a goal that the family have even set for themselves. Remember a story, I think you shared it with me, of this family. You saw them on Facebook some years ago where because of a goal of their plan to get their house in a year, and the guy
I used to
move.
follow this
It was
woman.
a very nice, touching, loving story, and very sacrificial.
Eventually they got their house. He went
US.
away to learn, maybe was it plumbing or AC fixing or something, and he left the family. It was a large family, and he earned a lot of money while doing that, and he kept putting into the house, and eventually they got their house, and the whole family moved down to join them.
But he had to go away for a long time. But it was planned. There was a goal to it.
I don't think there was long distance. Well, maybe for people that went to war. But remember, in the Bible now, there wasn't much long distance apart from people that went to war. Whenever they went to war, there was. But even the Bible says that the people that got married should be allowed to go and join their wife for one full year.
You are not
Bonding
going to
is
war.
important.
1 year you'll be able to work. I can't remember. I know it's in the Old Testament.
Deuteronomy, I think.
I'm not very sure.
It's one of those two books.
But I remember I used to know it because I used to quote it for some people. What did you say? You're not anyway. 1 year.
So eventually, even the Bible, because marriage relationship is very important to God. So especially when it comes to that point where you're already married, and there's a lot that feeds on that. The children will see the union, the way it goes. The bonding between the two parties too is important.
Even the bonding with the children.
Is also important, and being an example, to other people out there. So being apart doesn't mean you're not an example, but it just gives you room to bond more, to grow on each other, to understand yourselves more, your family values more, even spiritually you grow in purpose, and all that. So whether you're apart or not, often than not, like you said, planning is ultimately what's going to make it work. Every relationship needs some form of strategy to make it work. You
Absolutely.
need to, it doesn't just happen. You have to put some form of effort, to make it work. So it's just going to require better planning and more effort since you're not going to be seen often. So eventually, everybody will be all right, last. Just know that initially I didn't like it, but now I think.
Now, what she's saying that she has trusted me now. That then she didn't trust me. Like, I just met you and you were just doing something.
Before you come and be using me to do up and down, and I'll be wondering what's happening with I wasn't ready for that, please.
But now
it's either in or not in.
Now she trusts me. Okay.
Yeah,
Can do long distance
I think that's why. But I know you can't do it. You miss me.
Well, don't worry, I will show you.
Oh,
but I mean I don't think I can do long distance like that. Yeah, and I think again just knowing yourself and being real with yourself.
Every man is given a measure of grace.
Oh yeah. Grace for what?
Grace for different things, whether to do it or not. Okay, I'm just trying to apply it in that context. You know, whether you can or not, everybody has grace for different things. Interestingly, honey, your parents are doing long distance relationship. It just came to mind.
But they didn't start with long distance. After they don't do 30 years,
they now went long distance.
But they still see each other at least maybe.
They do. That is always intentional.
7 times a year.
I know your dad can call like 20 times a day.
My daddy has a follow-up ministry.
Yeah, and it's intentional because it's serving somewhere in, So it's working for them.
It's working for them. Yeah, so really, I mean, it can work for some people. The dynamics can change for good reasons and all that. But I think know thyself and apply yourself to what works for you.
Yep, and last, everybody will be fine.
It is up to you to decide if long distance relationship works for you or not.
I know your partner too.
Yeah, I think both parties. They two have become one, and in that's marriage. And then if it's those that are working towards marriage, they should talk about it, know each other. Also, it depends. That might be what we break it, and that might be what we make it.
Yeah. So, and maybe because some people have probably known each other for a long period of time. You were classmates in secondary school. You finished university, you've been friends, you've known each other, you've been neighbors. So you know, like, you've been friends, you know each other so well. And if you're apart, you don't feel like you're friends. You know, you've come to that level where your relationship is just like, it's not the special we just met, like, you know how ours was. They might find it easier. I don't know. I'm just speculating. We met and became friends. Started dating almost immediately. And in a year
from then we're married.
That's a sweet gist. We owe them.
Yeah, we'll give you the gist.
We have loads of juicy things coming your way. Don't worry.
Yes.
Just stay tuned and stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Hallelujah.
So until next time, before we keep dragging our gist, remain blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, wherever you are, and whatever your decision is, whether it is to do long distance or whether you can survive it or not, it's up to you eventually. But then be fine. Make sure you put all the checks in place and be fine at all times. Don't have an attack over a relationship. Put all the checks in place. Do the planning you said, and you'll be fine.
Bless you.
Put God at the center.
Put God at the center.
All right then. Bye for now.
Bye.